This is a rehearsal for my speech at the 2009 Euro Christmas party. I'm in my office right now and I am reading from my final draft. My father likes to tell a story about his old boss, the fabled ad executive Keith Reinhardt. For those of you who don't know who he is, Keith essentially built and ran what is now DDB Chicago. He was also instrumental in creating the most successful and least maligned advertising holding company in the world, Omnicom. It's sort of a Christmas story, so I'd like to retell it here. Many years ago, Keith Reinhardt was holding court at his office holiday party. The agency had recently renamed itself DDB from Needham Harper and Steers, and quite a crowd was on hand. In fact, it's very likely our own Ron Bess was there. Anyway, an executive assistant introduces herself to Keith. Despite having worked at the company for many years, it quickly became apparent to her that he did not know who she was. Having had her share of liquid courage, the woman gave Mr. Reinhardt a piece of her mind. Needless to say, Keith was mortified. Not at the employee's conduct, but at his own. Later, the following year, my dad is attending a cocktail party at Keith's apartment. While using the bathroom, he discovers a file containing photographs and biographical information on every single employee at DDB. Be creepy if the reason wasn't so sincere. Apparently, Keith had been so traumatized by his earlier snafu, he'd made it a point to memorize every person's name at the company. That's right, he went through the file whenever he sat down on the throne. For all Keith's many professional achievements, this anecdote about him is my favorite. Obviously, I have a feeling Keith would not mind being talked about this way. People were that important to him. Still are. What's the old cliche about ad agencies? The only thing of value in them is the people. It's true, and it's why I know I work at one of the best agencies in America. When I was a copywriter at Leo Burnett, I never saw upper management unless we were in a meeting together. I came to resent that fact, as well as the darkly competitive cliques and unfair caste system that formed within the agency. I never want it to be like that here. It's why I embrace the wall. It's why I love the Euro RSCG t-shirt. It's also why I bring you candy and cake sometimes, any excuse to walk the halls. Do I have more important things to do? In a word, no. My favorite holiday cartoon is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And my favorite part of it is when Rudolph and Hermie, not Herbie, finally arrive at the island of misfit toys. The two outcasts instantly feel at home. 5 years ago, when I arrived at Euro Tatham and Partners, it was an agency in peril, particularly on the advertising side. With only one client and a handful of stressed out employees, oddly, I felt at home. We were misfits in the best sense of the word. Well, look at us now. In 5 years, we've gone from perilous to pretty darn good. While many of our competitors struggle, we are holding our own. No small feat in a supposedly dying industry during the worst recession in years. But the thing I'm perhaps most proud of is the camaraderie and fellowship at Euro RSCG. From Amanda Callahan to Zain Raj, we are truly united. And let me tell you, this is not something to be taken lightly or for granted. As this year ends and a new one begins, it's time for the next phase in our agency's development. We must go from pretty good to playing great, from an 8-5 football team to 11-2. That means one that means our work must become as good as our relationships. And from that work, we need a signature campaign, something the whole world can point to, not just us. So, can we be great together? I'm feeling pretty optimistic. As I speak, we are producing new campaigns for Cabot, Valspar, Effin Vodka, and Hornitos Tequila. It's some of the best work we've ever done. We are also changing the game on Sprint. New people, new places, new things. As the client himself said, we are much more than DM. In 2010, Our biggest client may well be our most exciting. There are many more examples, just as there are more of you. Again I ask, can we be great together? Again I say, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. I know it'll be a lot easier because we're unified. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and to all a good night. Thank you.